computer is picking up a strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
Hello dear listener, and welcome to episode 75 of Life Through a Prism with your host Rob Tierney. And in the next couple of episodes we're going to take a look at disability representation in TV and film. And does it matter who plays a character, as long as the person is the best person to fill the role and not just a ticked box? This week's article comes from Variety.com. This focuses on American film and TV, as that's the majority of where most people see their films and TV today. So the article is entitled, "Most TV characters with disabilities are played by able-bodied actors, study finds," by Bat Minton, dated 6th of May 2025. A new study has found that nearly 80% of characters portrayed with disabilities in scripted TV series from 2016 to 2023 were played by able-bodied actors. The State of Disability Representation on Television, an analysis of scripted TV series from 2016 to 2023, commissioned by the Rudderman Family Foundation in collaboration with the Gina Davis Institute, was based on a survey of 350 scripted TV shows from 2016 to 2023, with recent shows like Sex Education, As We See It, and Echo, highlighted for portraying disabled characters navigating dating and using wheelchairs. In total, only 3.9% of characters had a disability across the 350 shows, a disproportionately small number considering that nearly 30% of the US population identifies as having a disability. Of those characters with disabilities, only 21% of them were portrayed by actors with the same or a similar disability. The study notes that this number can fluctuate every year due to how low the number of disabled characters is, with the lowest share of 9.4% in 2018 and the highest share of 33.3% in 2016. These findings reveal two stark realities. Firstly, that the data underscores the underrepresentation of individuals with disabilities on television, despite 1 in 4 Americans having a disability. And secondly, the progress towards this goal has stagnated in recent years, said Jay Rudderman, president of the Rudderman Family Foundation. The narratives presented on screen greatly influence societal perceptions and understanding of inclusion. We urge writers, producers and decision makers to take note of our recommendations and commit to authentic representation without hesitation. The study also brought in the issue of intersectionality, noting that LGBTQ+ characters were twice as likely to be portrayed with disabilities than characters outside that community, with 8.5% of LGBTQ+ characters shown with disabilities. Additionally, 4.4% of all white characters were portrayed with disabilities, compared with 3.1% of characters of colour. However, the study notes that racial diversity of disabled characters remained largely stable over the observed years. In order to combat these low numbers, Rudderman's study recommends that the industry greenlight more stories by people with disabilities behind the camera, adopt authentic casting processes, and focus on crafting narratives that feature characters with disabilities without making the disability a focal point. At the Institute, we've always championed worlds on screen that reflect our real-world population off-screen, using our data to inspire change in how characters and stories unfold, said Gina Davis, founder and chair of the Gina Davis Institute. Authenticity leads to richer stories and a more inclusive world on screen, and we can make that the norm and not the exception. The question again I would like to leave with you today: does a disabled person have to play a disabled role if theirs is not the best disabled actor to play, but an able-bodied person is better for the role? Would love to hear your thoughts. Let's have a conversation. Before I finish today's episode, I would just like to ask you, if you have enjoyed this podcast and enjoy the free content I create, could you please give a like and consider subscribing? The podcast is not only on Spotify, but Apple and YouTube as well. Also now, the podcast has a webpage. You can find this link in the show notes. I enjoy creating this content for you, and it helps me be motivated to continue to make great content in the future. Till next time, take care, and bye for now.